Happy Halloween month.
Yeah, October is here.
Yes. Well,
does this episode come out before or after my birthday? Yeah, you heard that. October, baby.
I don't know. Let me look.
I am that Libra gang.
It's going to come
Shout
out. It comes out after your birthday.
I know it sounds like I'm excited. I don't really celebrate my birthday, so
wish him a happy birthday.
No, don't. I'm serious. I don't like when all of the attention is. I don't like that. I just don't like it. I don't fuck with it. I mean, I like talking to my grandparents. I like talking to family members and things like that. But when they call specifically just to sing happy birthday or say happy birthday, I'm like, fuck. Because you have to do like
singing
7
happy
of them.
Birthday is annoying.
I do get a lot. I do get singing. I do get that. And it's like
text it is fine, I think.
But yeah. But again, I don't want nothing.
Well, if you're not watching our video, you should go check out our YouTube because.
Sorry, wait, my birthday is October.
I already said it.
I'm just saying. Cut it. I don't want it.
All right, now that I'm not going to get rudely interrupted again.
That's so crazy. That's so wild. You just said my birthday for everybody to hear after I said I don't want it to be there. And then you
act like I can't edit it out.
Better edit that shit out. No, I don't care.
Damn, now you're throwing me off the rail.
Sorry,
here.
You said go check out our YouTube.
Oh, yeah, because we checked out the studio a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
You know, there's some Halloween shit up in here.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
True, we got some cobwebs, some pumpkins. Yeah, just go check it out. You don't even have to watch the full video if you just listen to the pod. Just at least give it a nice little glance.
Yeah, because it's pretty, I mean, it's pretty sick.
It is pretty sick.
Got cobwebs, got lights, got some
spiders
pumpkins.
might jump on you.
I don't like that idea. I don't like that thought. But
similar to the movie we'll be talking about later.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Well, so why don't you tell them a little bit about what we're going to be talking about today, Jake?
You know, one of the most famous attractions that comes around once a year, sometimes occasionally throughout the year, but that's just special occasion.
Yeah.
Is one thing many people love and will stand in line for hours just to go through.
I would.
If it's good enough.
I will.
We're talking about haunted houses, baby. Yes, haunted houses. One of the most anticipated events that people wait for during the Halloween season.
Yeah. Spooky season haunted houses,
if it's a good haunted house, people will wait and wait and wait and sometimes not even get in and wait.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, I once waited 3 hours just to go into the fucking 13th floor's blackout.
Yeah.
That was fucking crazy. It was good.
But it was
3.5 hour wait.
Yeah, that's
dude.
brutal.
I'm like, why didn't I buy the fast pass? So I didn't want to spend $40 more fucking dollars.
I will say, yeah, some of my favorite highlights and lowlights all happened in haunted houses, like of the spooky season.
If you got yourself a girl, she can you get your arm around her, you walk her through the house, like boo season is upon us.
So
for some,
I want to give a little story really quick that just brought back a memory. So in college, I was seeing this girl and military girl, and she, it was so funny because I matched with her on one of the dating apps, and dude, she was like way out of my league. Like, it's freaking nuts. She's the one who painted me my Venom thing.
Shout out, that thing is sick, by the way. If you ever listen to this, that
names,
thing is sick.
You know who you are, and thank you for the painting.
Can you paint more?
Yeah,
Speaking of,
please paint more.
You know what's weird?
What?
Sorry to interrupt your story, but I just got a text message from 13th floor.
That's weird.
That is weird.
That's weird.
Discounted tickets, baby. Anyway,
yeah. So the first time I met her, we had decided to go to a haunted house, and it was so funny because, I mean, I'm sitting here thinking, okay, this girl's way out of my league. What the hell am I, like, this is so crazy. And
enjoy that moment though.
Well, I tried, because when I got there, it was all fun. You know, we were hanging out. You know, she was super cool. We were standing in line at the haunted house, and dude, somebody stole my card information. So when I went up to buy the tickets,
they're like,
bro, my card got declined, and I'm sitting here like, are you fucking serious? Like, she's probably looking at me like I'm poor as shit.
This guy
like,
doesn't have any money in his account.
She's like, he's gonna take me out and not gonna pay for it. I was like, oh fuck. She's like, no, it's okay. Like, it's totally fine. I got it. I'm like, no. I'm like, don't worry. I got it. And in college, my dad gave me a backup like credit card for, like, you know, if I was running out of food or
emergency
something.
fund.
Yeah, pretty
emergency
much.
fund.
And so I couldn't just use that. Like, I had to say, hey, you know, I'm using it for this. So I sent him a text. I sent him a text.
Sorry,
I go,
I have to use this.
I go, I'm so sorry, but this has to be done. So I gave the card, and it's funny because my dad, he, you know, he's like, hey, like, you know, what's this charge? I don't know, a day later or whatever. And I go, Dad, I was on a date. My card got stolen. So, you know, it got declined. And I'm like, and he goes, oh, don't worry about it. He goes, you didn't even have to text me during the time. He's like, you should have just done it. That's it. No explanation needed. Like, my dad's a G for that one. But
shout out.
that was embarrassing for sure. That was embarrassing. I also got broken up with at a Honda. You were there for that one. I guess it was me and one of my exes broke up and got back together like 5 times.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the times was at the haunted house during the haunted house.
I was there.
Yeah, you were there. It was you, me, and Josh.
That memory escapes me, but
It was the haunted Field of Screams.
No.
Yeah, it was the first time I ever went there. And during the time she's texting me like, I just don't think this is going to work. And I was like, fuck no. And then I remember trying to gain my confidence back like during the 3rd haunted house. There was like the Saw one and stuff, remember?
Wait, was that when
was
you
that
were
night.
like trying to get that like lady,
When I got
the number
roasted by the one girl.
Yeah. I do remember that actually.
So I was
God.
like, there was this girl, she's an actress, you know, one of the actors on the haunted Field of Screams, and she comes out and she tried to scare me, and I don't know, I was trying to get my confidence back because I was literally currently being like dumped.
Yeah.
Like just in the middle of the haunted house. And so I just said like, oh yeah, you know, I was like, damn, you know, you got me. And then I'm like, let's go out to dinner or something. I said some bullshit like that. And bro, I'm sitting here thinking she was going to be like just not say anything. Bro, no, she goes, I have higher standards, like full out of character, everything. And I just go, oh, I took 2 whammies that night, bro. Oh, that was not
If the
fun.
confidence wasn't going up, it surely wasn't going up after that.
Down. Down. So
one story I have at the haunted Field of Screams was honestly so funny because it was a couple friends and their girlfriends, and then me and another close friend of ours. I can't remember who, but we got drunk before. Like me and the friend.
I've never actually done that.
Me and the
Drunk at a
friend
haunted
got
house.
drunk.
Yeah.
The couples though were not drunk.
Okay.
They were going in sober.
Fair.
And let me tell you, one of the most fun times I've ever had in a haunted house. Didn't get scared at all. I was laughing. Just like, I would see everybody like, you know, hiding in their corner, and I just like laugh, dead laugh. And then I would be like with the actor, like hiding with them, trying to scare our own group. Trying to scare our own group. And dude, our group got so mad at me, but I was just, dude, it was so much fun.
That does sound fun.
Like, I was no jump scares at all, but like, you know, the clown would be hiding in the corner, and I'd just go stand by them and just like sit there and be like, boom, and get our group. It was so much fun.
Damn.
But Haunted Field of Screams is a great haunted house.
It is a great haunted house. Yeah.
It has been bad, but then it redeemed itself last year.
I have not seen it ever be bad. I've been there twice, and the only time the one was bad was, again, like I said, because I was just confidence hit.
Yeah.
But the haunted house, like itself, was pretty sick.
They used to have zombie paintball.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
And then they took it away after COVID, or maybe even before then, but it kind of got revamped, and they started doing the tractor part of the haunted house again.
which that was sick.
Yes. So you're basically riding on a trailer for probably like a mile, it seemed like.
Yeah.
Half a mile maybe. And you got actors running up, jumping on the freaking wagon.
Yeah.
Trying to scare you.
Yeah.
Coming up, banging, clanging things around, and you're just like, oh shit. And then you eventually like get off, and then you start your haunted house walk.
Biggest thing I remember is I got called Jake Paul by one of the scare actors.
Really?
Really, really big bummer on that one. That's a big bummer. But yeah.
You know, the Haunted Field of Screams isn't the only good haunted house we've ever been to, though.
Oh, City of the Dead. And then the Asylum. So
good.
I'll say the Asylum I remember I went to when it was by itself. And that was really cool because it was acted. It was like when I went, it was pretty much like an asylum.
Mm-hmm.
Like they built it up to be like that. And there was like a whole alarm thing that went off and like the prisoners came out and like that was the whole, I guess the gist of it. Right. And then City of the Dead, I never went to and it was by itself, but when they were together.
You never went when it was just
when
at
it was
the flea
just,
market?
Well, no, because the Asylum went to the flea market with City of the Dead when they merged.
Was the Asylum there the one time we went with?
Yeah.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, that was the Asylum and City of the Dead.
Oh, okay. Then I haven't been to it by itself either.
Yeah. So City of the Dead used to be its own thing. Asylum used to be its own thing. I went to the Asylum. That was super sick. But then all of a sudden they merged that one year.
Mm-hmm.
And then because remember it started as like a zombie thing. You know, there was zombies walking around and stuff like that. And then it at one point switched to, you know, chapels and things like that. And then that was when you kind of knew you were in the asylum portion of it. So I don't know. It's cool though. Yeah.
Yeah. The actors were really good.
Yeah. So that's
always a fucking chainsaw at the end.
Always a chainsaw. You have to have a chainsaw. I mean,
do you though?
Yeah, you do.
It's just like
it's the last little like adrenaline rush, you know, because the thing about
the hell out.
The thing about a chainsaw is that it's loud.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's something that makes it's not just like a weapon, like a knife or a pitchfork or something like that. It's genuinely like it's a loud weapon. And I think that adds, I don't know, fright. Especially when they're
people
running
are
at you.
scared of it. Yeah.
Because you also can't really ever tell if
there's a blade,
a chain on it or whatever. And so
you're just like, oh shit, is he actually going to cut me today?
Yeah. I mean, there's always that. Well, I mean, we're going to talk about it today. We are going to talk about certain times when haunted house stuff went wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Some kind of, you know, accidents or actual crimes that were in the haunted house. So we're going to talk about that. And yeah, what are you doing? Texting a girl over there? No. I'm like, damn. Man, this is ignoring me for a chick. I don't, dude.
No.
Anyway, yeah. So I don't know, but that's kind of what makes a good haunted house
to me.
Yeah. What do you think makes a good haunted house as opposed to the shitty ones we've gone to?
So one thing that I've been, stewing over the past few years has been the use of animatronics.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We know 13th Floor has been known for animatronics. They got
might as well be
because of them.
13th animatronics, like literally.
Was a good haunted house, and like the animatronics are really cool and like the effects are really cool, but what really gets people is the actors.
Yeah.
Having people in it.
Yeah.
Because you know how many times we've walked through 13th Floor and you get one actor, 6 animatronics, and then dead space.
Yeah.
And you're like, how am I supposed to get scared?
It's true.
I also think a big factor in what more haunted houses should do but can't do because of trying to get money is to push people in waves of alone so they get the full experience themselves rather than colliding into other groups.
I agree.
Right?
How many times have we gone into a haunted house
and we
always run into the people who are moving way too slow?
Or because they're moving way too slow, now we got people in our back.
I think that wasn't it the Field of Screams where this last time where we ran into a group in front of us, and then another group came behind us, and we were just like,
and they joined groups with us.
Yeah,
because they were scared.
But then we were like, we're just gonna sit here and wait for everybody to like go, so we can kind of get.
And then we lost them.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I fully agree. I think a big part of what makes a haunt truly scary is you need to space it out. You need to be alone, because if you see, well, first of all, if you have a group in front of you, you hear when the scare is coming.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
and then they have to reset, and then you already might have missed it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that ruins your experience.
It does. Yeah. So I don't know how you fix that, but I think that's
it's hard because you need to pull in the most money per night because it only comes around so often. Right. So you have to give or take. Like, do you make it a really sick experience and only sell, 50 to 100 tickets a night? Which isn't a lot, or what? Or
I think you could probably get a little bit more than that.
I don't know the exact math, but you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah. Or
you cram a bunch of people in and say, "Fuck their experience. I'm here for the dollar."
Yeah.
That's
probably money talks, right? Money
it does.
talks.
I mean, you got to pay your actors if you have any.
Oh, dude. I had a really good idea, but we're gonna save that for later.
Okay.
When we talk about a certain movie. So basically.
But that's my opinion,
Yeah. So one thing that we want to pretty much ask, because it is in the back of everybody's mind, and obviously they've made movies about it and things like that, but what if the blades are real? What if the haunt is real? What if everything that you're seeing is real?
I mean, it definitely crosses minds for sure.
Yeah, and that's what I think makes it more scary than the animatronics, right? Is because you don't know
who these people are.
Exactly. You have no idea. So today we're going to be talking about a few movies and then also sprinkle in some real life incidents where that did happen. And the movies that we're going to talk about, though, they pretty much all have to do with that exact fact that we were just talking about. What if the haunt is real, and how easy it could actually probably be for for somebody who's maybe not mentally right, goes in and just gets bodies, man. I mean, it's creepy how real that could be.
Oh, completely.
So we're going to talk about a little indie movie, found footage first. We're going to talk about The House is October Built.
You know what's crazy?
What?
Is I'm such a big horror fan.
Yeah.
And a bigger found footage fan.
Yeah.
And I had not seen this movie.
Yeah, I showed Jake the movie.
He's like, cool. I mean, I've heard of it, but I didn't realize it was a found footage. And, I dive deep on some of the Reddits to find movies and subreddits and whatever. And all these people mentioned it, but I just never gave it a thought. I was like, meh. There's probably a better movie, because I probably looked at the score on Rotten Tomatoes and was like really turned off.
Aren't you the one who always tells me, though?
I am, but and I should trust people critics. More. Well, it wasn't even critics; it was audience.
Yeah, but again, like I said, As Above, So Below also had shitty reviews from both, and we love it.
But then, because it's found footage. Right.
It's a big reason
because
why
we go to Haunt, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
And you look at the Rotten Tomatoes score.
Yeah.
That's 100% audience.
I know.
Because it's a bigger budget.
Yeah.
Shot not in found footage. Yeah. And actual good production.
Well, I think, again, people watch these movies, and if they don't like found footage, they're just not you're not going to like the movie.
Right. Because you don't like the shaky camness. You don't like how, it's shot.
I love them. I love found footage movies. They're so crazy.
Mm-hmm. But anyway,
it's cool. So yeah.
Sorry to jump into that tangent a little bit, but
no, it's a good one. So basically, The House is October Built is it's found footage film, and it's about a group of friends who they try to go across America and try to find the most extreme haunt, and they go through these different haunts. And, you see reoccurring actors, and they start getting down south, and they start talking about, backcountry haunts and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then they find one.
Yes, they do.
After some creepy
Yes, they do.
experiences, the little doll chick is scary as fuck.
Dude, the one scene in the RV.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Oh, a lot of spoilers coming,
Oh, yeah.
by the way.
Spoiler for all of these movies.
Yep.
So, yeah, they there's this one creepy doll lady. She's on the cover, I think, and she
is on the cover, and she's got like no hair. It's like almost burned off.
Yeah, and her entire head looks like marble. It's crazy. So there's one scene where probably the freakiest scene of the whole movie, but they're leaving one of the haunts in this RV, and she's just like by her car. I guess it's like broken down, and one of the guys goes, "Oh, I'm gonna go see if I can help her," and then he comes back in the RV, and she follows him, and he's like, she didn't say much, and then she sits down, and they're just kind of like, okay, where can we take you and stuff, and she just looks around, doesn't say shit, and then she just randomly.
It's like one of the most horrifying sounds you'll hear.
It's like,
they're all like, what the fuck?
Sorry if that blew anybody's, speakers out or whatever you're listening to on this, but that's what happens.
Sound warning.
Yeah. Yeah, that shit is fucking crazy. So what was, that's obviously my favorite scene of the whole movie. What was your favorite scene of the whole movie?
I honestly think the scariest thing that I saw was when they wake up the next morning after being filmed, and their film is on like a thread online.
Yeah, that is
for
crazy.
people to see.
And then there's the heart or the liver or whatever in the
fridge.
Yeah. But that's crazy.
It's so weird. And then all of a sudden they're like fucking at night. All the people are around them.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it just like flashes and then they're gone.
Yeah. That's a good one.
That's a crazy scene.
I do think one thing that does add to the actual scare factor of the movie, because it's not very scary, but there is an unsettling,
not jump scary.
No, but there is an unsettling factor in it, which is all of the little like cuts in between. They do this thing like documentary style where they do little cuts in between some of the scenes, and it's actual like interviews.
Is it actual interviews, or is it look
one
like
of the guys
actual
was talking
interviews?
about McCamey Manor or whatever.
Sure, it could be
which
real.
is the real haunted. They just bleeped it out. Remember that guy?
Yeah.
And so I don't know if they're real. And honest to God, I feel like one of the stories we do is based off of that. I don't know, but it is crazy. So they have these little interviews, and they seem real. They do. They really do. They seem real as hell. And they're spliced in between the movie, and it just adds to the unsettling factor. So that's a pretty cool idea from that movie. What did you not like about it?
I don't know. I think there was a lot of filler footage of them just sitting in the RV that I could care less about.
Yeah.
I'd rather get to more haunts, more experience outside the RV.
Yeah.
And
but they had to build up character development.
They did. And I get like it had to be done in the RV. That's because
budget,
that's where, budget, and that's just kind of where they all went.
That was the plot of the movie.
Yeah.
So
that's like my only complaint. Otherwise, it was a solid film. I liked how it was shot.
Yeah.
I liked how they were documenting everything, set up cameras inside the RV.
Yeah.
The one dude was trying to get laid the whole time, which I thought was so funny.
That was funny. Yeah. He's like, have you ever done anything with the makeup on? And she's like, no, never. And he goes, shit, well, you want to try it? It's like, wow, that'd be sexy though. Yeah. Dude, he was trying so hard.
Turn around for me real quick.
Yeah. Man's riz needs to be studied. All right. Well, yeah. So House is October Bill, if you like the whole idea of finding an extreme haunted house and maybe it goes too far.
And found footage.
Definitely go watch it because it's pretty solid. Now, the second one, they do have a second one.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I'd like to rewatch it at some point because I've only seen it once, and it was way back when with my ex.
I've never seen it. So,
and it was, I do remember that they have a twist at the end. I'm not a fan of the twist. It's a good twist because it's totally unexpected, but I was not a fan of it because it's kind of just dark. I don't know. I like dark shit. I was just like,
Oh,
that's what they're doing.
one other
Okay.
thing that bothered me on that movie was they build up this anticipation for this extreme haunt.
Yeah,
And it was only like 5-10 minutes of the movie.
that's true. Yeah, I'll give you that one. They
Like-
could have made it more of an extreme haunt, I guess, at the end.
We've seen a whole haunted house in a movie and it worked. So like you could put maybe 20-30 minutes of it as the movie.
They did that in this movie. The one haunt was pretty wild.
Yeah.
Remember? That was the one. And then they got chased down by the clown afterwards. And he was like, what the fuck you doing with that camera? You know,
No, that was good. But the one that they were building to, that was the most extreme one. They did it in 10 minutes and it was over.
Yeah, it's true.
And you're just like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
That's
no,
the movie.
I agree with that one. Yeah. So, all right. Well, go watch it if any of that sounds interesting to
Agreed.
you.
It's not the only haunted house movie though.
No, it is not. Why don't you tell them about Haunt?
So a few years ago, maybe 4 or 5, I don't know. I can't remember the exact year. I stumbled upon this movie called Haunt. And it was coming out and it was just getting released like randomly. I don't even think it was in theaters. I'm not even sure.
I've never heard about it.
All of a sudden it was just out.
Yeah.
It was just a movie that was out. And I was like, oh shit, this looks kind of good.
I never heard about it until
yeah.
it was on your Voodoo and you were like, have you ever seen this? And I was like, no. And you were like, it's about a haunted house. I was like, shit. And I was like, damn, this movie slaps.
So yeah, found it, watched the trailer, was like, oh shit, these characters are kind of creepy because they're like all like clown costumes.
Yeah.
Some a little different, like the Dracula dude, but
they're all like old school like costumes, right? Like the old school masks. So,
yeah, and like
the
really
witch
long
one.
cloaks and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the movie starts. You're following this girl, main character. She has had a terrible childhood. She gets beat by her boyfriend, and she's visiting her friend in college, and they want her to come out with them. And they convince her to go. She goes out, meets this dude, douchebag from the start, which what you would think. Turns out to be a great guy later.
Yeah.
Unlike the other movie we watched.
Yeah. Trying to come over or what? Yeah, this guy's more like, yeah, I played baseball in high school. That's what I'm wearing. I'm wearing my costume tonight, my lucky bat. But then turns out to be a G.
Yeah. No, he saves the day. So they have a bunch of friends. They go out to this party, not having the best time. They eventually were like, let's go to a haunted house. So they're driving, think they're getting followed, pull off, and then all of a sudden a haunted house light flashes at them.
That was the coolest fucking scene. I was telling Jake when we rewatched it, I was like, that would never happen because like you just happen to pull off on that exact like turn off.
Oh, yeah.
And then stop there. And then all of a sudden the haunted house thing pops up. Like that would never happen. Like the amount of luck that it would take for that shit to happen. But still fucking sick.
Correct.
Because you're just sitting there waiting for the car lights that are following them. And then all of a sudden, boom, it says haunted house. And you're like, whoa, that was crazy. Yeah, it was cool.
They go into the haunted house. They sign release papers, whatever, put their phones in a lockbox, get a key, and they go into the haunt. Now, damn, that was loud.
Sorry.
Cal's cracking his knuckles out here.
Long day.
They go into the haunt, and all of a sudden, shit just goes crazy.
Yeah.
Things get real. Their friends get hurt, even stabbed, killed.
I was gonna say, I don't know if they just get hurt. They get fucking.
Oh, the one girl gets her arm slashed at the beginning. That's like the beginning of stuff.
Yeah. They're putting their arms through the.
Feeling like, the brains,
oh,
the
this
eyeballs.
is brains. Oh, this is noodles. Oh, this is an eyeball. It's a grape. And then the last girl.
Jesus.
What's going on? Oh my God. It's fucking.
Well, I think it's funny because they used the baseball guy and her, and he fakes it and is acting like someone's grabbing him.
And then she's like, no, seriously, what the fuck?
He
And
pulls
he's
her
like,
off,
oh,
and all of a
shit.
sudden you just look at her arm, and all of a sudden cuts just open up, and she starts bleeding so much, and you're like, oh fuck, they are not playing. The motherfuckers that are in this haunt are crazy.
They are.
If you want to earn your face.
Some weird shit. But yeah, these
I don't want
guys,
to spoil all of it, but
they all take off their masks and they all have just fucked up faces.
Oh, yeah.
They're, you know, like that weird, I don't want to say weird, but like that, like burnt bald, you know, and it's like you have a burnt face and so like your hair can't grow.
You have no,
it's
you
like
have
glossy.
really no skin, really.
Yeah, it's kind of like glossy, like the scarred skin. Like that one guy, he has that, right? Like up here, and he has like little strings of hair, and then I don't know, his eyes are like
kind of similar to the doll.
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much.
But like actual, you know.
Yeah. And then there's the other guy who talks like this.
Oh yeah, with black demon eyes.
Yeah, black eyes, black teeth, black tongue, and then the fucking little horns that are like all over his face.
Inserted freaking horns. You can do that.
I want your face. That's how he talks.
I know.
But
yeah, it's just, you know, the whole movie takes place in this haunted house, really. Yeah. And it is so well shot and done. Like the lighting is so good.
I have to say, and I think this is good because you said you dove into the directors a little bit and you found out they're directing an A24 film. But you know what's crazy is the whole time I was rewatching it, I was thinking if A24 was going to do a haunted house movie, this seems like it would be that. Like it felt like A24-ish, right?
It had like the cinematic shots of it that it would.
Yeah.
The acting was really good.
It was solid, yeah. But it wasn't cheesy,
no,
right?
Not
it
at
was,
all.
And it also, I got a big question answered because remember at the beginning of the movie, I go, these fools are out in the middle of nowhere. How the fuck do they eat? I'm like, I never think about like real life story. Cause obviously it's a movie, right? So it's like fake. And I'm sitting here and I'm going, for some unknown reason, just randomly, I go, do these guys just walk into like a grocery store with these faces or what? Like, what's the story?
As you said, they're not walking in the masks.
Yeah. Because you can't walk in a mask, right? Like all year round. And then what? They're going to walk in looking like that?
At the end of the movie, the guy's like, they told me they weren't going to kill anyone. I'm just their errand guy.
And then I was like, holy shit, I got my question answered, which is cool because that means obviously somewhere along the line, they thought of, you know, how do these guys get food? Are they cannibals? Are they, you know, what do they do?
They just wrote that guy in just so they would answer your question.
My question. Pretty cool. Pretty cool how that works out. Thank you.
Yeah, the same people that directed this movie are actually doing a new one called Heretic.
Yeah.
Which is not a remake, I looked up. It's not a remake. It's a completely original movie.
Cool.
So I'm excited for it.
Does look good.
Yeah, I mean, that's haunt. Like, it's just a solid, almost one location movie.
Yeah.
Mostly one location.
Yeah.
Besides, like, going to her house and the party. But that's like it.
No, it's true. The whole thing happens in a haunted house. And yeah, it's cool. It's really cool. There's just... It is
highly recommend.
It does beg the question of, like, if you see a haunted house kind of in, like, the rural...
Do you go in?
There was one haunted house in Elizabeth that was along one of the, you know, the road that
86
17.
Oh yeah. Oh,
that goes by my house.
Yeah.
So there was this one called Haunted Hills.
Yeah.
And it was,
I knew the people that put that on.
See, so I had to drive all the way back in like you go way back into the middle of this forest. And it was like that. You know, it's just in the middle of nowhere. You see this one like white bloody sign that says Haunted Hills and it has a direction and you're just like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to go. And then you go and then, yeah, there's not a lot of people in line. And then
not a lot of people there.
You're walking through.
Most of the people are probably from the town.
Yeah.
Probably not vetted.
Yeah.
Which kind of leads us into what's next.
What?
Talking about real life things.
I was like, what, are we talking about the other movies now? Or
No.
Yeah. No,
I thought that was such a good like swap, and you were just not on board. I thought it was going straight into our stories that were great.
Sorry, man. I'm
Fuck
out of it.
Fuck
today.
me, I guess. That was such a good transition.
That was a strike on my part. You threw me the nice knuckleball, and I just couldn't get it. So it's all good.
Well, yes, there's some true stories of real life things that have happened.
Yeah,
and they're wild.
No, they are crazy, and I just want to say though, the one thing about when I was doing research for this, they're remember that scene in The Houses October Built when they went to a strip club and those girls had like masks and stuff. And
yeah.
so
and
I
you were
wanted to
like,
see.
damn. You're like reminded me of that like, Family Guy episode where he's like looks over at Peter and Lois fucking goes, "This is a cool place."
Yeah. I wanted to look, man, I was just curious, but I wanted to see if that was an actual thing. Like if there was an actual like haunted strip club.
Shit's like,
Bro,
put a stripper in there. Whatever about strip clubs, right? Put a stripper in there, throw in her mask. I'm there.
she that's a place. There's an actual one. It's in Portland, Oregon.
Go figure that.
And yeah, I mean, shit. I'm like, say what you will about
Fumbling over there. You're like, ooh, I might go.
say what you will about strip clubs, but like a haunted strip club, I would like to put that on my bucket list and then cross that off on my bucket list. I'd go once, just to see. You know?
You're there for the experience and trying new things.
Really, I just love Halloween, and I love anything that gets turned into Halloween. And so, yeah, if I, see that there's a Halloween strip club, yeah, I'm gonna go do that shit.
I mean, why not?
Yeah, sorry,
Why not?
Anyway, so
Strip clubs.
Jake is going to take us through our first, I just wanted to say that, but Jake is going to take us through our first little true haunted house experience went wrong.
So, the unfortunate thing about haunted houses is a lot of them hire actors without any sort of background check, right? Mm-hmm. They don't get vetted. This is scary because these people who are scaring you could literally be anybody. For example, back in 2015, Dwelling and Despair and Forest of Fear were two haunted houses in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Kind of crazy. Back to the Midwest. Here we go.
Midwest, dude. Midwest.
It's always the Midwest.
Midwest is crazy.
That year, they converged kind of like the Asylum and City of the Dead did here in Denver. After 11 days of the attraction running without any issues, an off-duty police officer was at the haunted house with his kids. He looked over and noticed a man with a familiar face. This man was outside the haunt, monster mask off, and he looked like he was taking a break. That's when it finally connected with the officer. He had recognized the man as Andy Hawthorne, registered sex offender. For 11 days, Hawthorne had come in contact with children inside the haunt. That's some scary shit.
Yeah, it is. No, that's fucked up.
Registered sex offender working this haunted house while children are going into it.
Yeah, and that's...
Are you fucking kidding me?
Remember the Houses October Built? They had that one thing where they... So there's a clown and he asks the guy with the camera and he goes, like, what are you doing here with that camera? And then he's like, oh, we're doing To Catch a Predator, the Chris Hansen show. And he goes, To Catch a Predator? I gotta go. Like he walks the other way.
Just gone.
Yeah, just like dips out.
That was fucking weird.
You're like, okay, well, that's fucking red flags flying.
Oh.
Yeah, that's some spooky shit, man.
To being the cop, you're probably like, all right, guys, let's not go into this. We gotta leave.
No, you're probably sitting there going, I remember that fucker.
It's like me when I see people I recognize out. They kind of look familiar.
God damn it, Jake. Yeah, it almost backfires on me every time.
Anyway.
Dude.
Little inside joke.
I think I know that girl. What? Oh, fuck.
Me every time, dude. I forget people's faces so fast.
I know. And then I'm the
just
one
like,
who puts it together
like
and
trigger,
I go,
just something small in my head. I'm like, I feel like I know them.
Yeah.
And I pointed out to everybody else and they're like, oh yeah, we definitely have encountered them before.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Heavily.
Yep. 100%.
And I'm like, oh, my fault for pointing them out.
I
always kind of feel bad because I'm like, what if I just never said anything?
I do think back to that night.
If I just never said anything. I think
if you wouldn't have said anything, who knows? I don't think I was so focused on that football game. I had no idea. And then you're just.
It's true. You could have figured it out for yourself.
I
But
geez.
the world may never know.
Whatever. Anyway, so mine is back in 2016. Good year for me. Actually, that wasn't a good year. I was mixing it up with 2017. 2017 was a good year. 2016 was not a good year. 2016 sucked. So in 2016, at the Mystery Manor in Omaha, Nebraska, go Huskers, a 27-year-old man named Brenton Donaldson was acting as a clown in the haunt. A woman walked by, and Donaldson actually reached out, grabbed the woman by her hair, and slammed her head down onto a table in the room. He held her there and laughed for 15 seconds before letting her go. He had said that he was just acting in the spirit of his character, and then he was fired almost immediately, but no charges were put on him.
Interesting.
I know.
I mean, could you put charges on? Did she sign a waiver?
I don't know. I don't know that.
That's a loophole for sure.
Oh yeah, it is.
Like when you sign for the
crazy,
actors
though,
to
for that
touch
shit.
you, that's some fuck shit.
No, it is, man. Yeah. Yeah. So that dude just straight up was like, grabs her, puts her down.
Damn.
Wild.
Well, another one. Again. In 2018, James Yoakum and his friends went to a haunted house in Nashville, Tennessee. The haunt itself actually sounded quite impressive. Nashville Nightmare had 4 haunted houses, an escape room, and featured plenty of scary people in masks running around at you with fake weapons. Well, James was messing around with his friend Tanya before a thin man wearing skull makeup approached the two. According to James, the man asked Tanya if he was fucking around with her, to which she jokingly replied, yes. Well, the skull man must have thought she was serious because he handed her his fake knife and said stab him. James told her to go for it because, it's a haunted house, right? Nothing was real. Well, James felt a horrible pain as the blade pierced his forearm. It didn't do any permanent damage, but James recalled the scene, saying it felt something out of a horror movie as he watched blood gush from his arm in the aftermath. James got 9 stitches and is okay. As for the skull man, he apparently apologized and said, quote, didn't know my knife was that sharp, end quote. The man was never identified, but the Nashville Nightmare released a statement saying the actor involved had been fired.
Damn. Fuck.
Imagine you just think it's a play knife and you just get stabbed.
Boom, right in the arm. You're just like, fuck.
You haven't seen The Bear, but there's this funny scene in it when she's like yelling at him and has a knife and she's like kind of pokes him a bit and goes, fuck. I've been stabbed. It's kind of funny, but not that.
Yeah.
Similar situation, but like you're just expecting all good fun and all of a sudden you're just like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
You just start bleeding like hella hard.
Jesus Christ.
Oh,
damn. Well, why
Tough
do you
situation.
have real knives?
yeah.
Why
First
the
off,
guy have a real knife?
Yeah.
Aren't haunted houses supposed to have like the fake knives? You got that one for the short.
Shit, we could go
the
grab that
short
right
film.
now.
Yeah,
Show that
go ahead,
shit.
grab it. Basically, Jake and I are we're working on a short film. We were working on it for some time, but we needed a knife, so we found a replica knife, little Halloween type knife, and it looks real as shit. Look at that. That you can have that in a haunted house.
Yeah.
Look at how it reflects off the light and stuff. You can have that in a haunted house and be totally fine.
This is the knife.
Yeah, but when you see that shit,
I mean, it would hurt if you poked me, but it's not gonna like.
it's not gonna stab me in my forearm. Yeah, so why is this guy having a knife? It doesn't make any sense. Fucking weird.
I don't know. But
People are weird. Check out my knife.
But also, like, they had to take action. But it's kind of on the haunted house.
Oh yeah.
Why are you giving your actors real shit?
Well,
I mean, what if he thought it was fake? Like, he didn't know,
true,
right?
it's true, yeah.
And then he gets fired and goes, wow, fuck me, I guess.
No, it's true. It's true. I also think, though, in my mind, the guy was probably like, but he probably just was like, oh yeah, I have a dull knife. This will totally work. Like, I am such a cool. I collect knives and stuff. Like dude, So I knew this girl one time, and she told me that her ex-boyfriend used to bring a knife into movie theaters. I go, why?
That's fucking weird.
And she was like, oh, I don't know. He was into it, you know, I don't know. And I was just like, bro, that's fucking weird. And
was she ever scared?
No, she was like, oh, it's normal. I'm like, that's not fucking normal. Get some popcorn. Like, what the fuck? Dude, people are way too into weapons, man.
I know.
I got like a hatchet for home security purposes and camping. And I mean,
you know, self-protection at your house is one thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've had some crazy shit go on at movie theaters in the past, but like
100%.
But like, really, a knife? You have to bring a knife to a movie?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't even put it aside of doing anything. What the fuck do you need a knife for anyway?
It doesn't make sense. Yeah, I'm like, is he? That's what I think I did. I did ask that. I was like, was he like nervous something was going to happen? She goes, no, I think he just likes to have it. So it's like, if you need a weapon to make yourself feel like powerful,
like a pocket knife,
what the fuck are you doing? No, she said it was like a legit like knife, like one of the hunting knives, like a fucking big knife, and he would hide it in like a sweatshirt or some shit.
Bro, leave that in your car.
What the fuck, man?
These fucking people,
dude. You don't need these crazy ass fucking weapons.
And
bro.
This is why we say, always keep your head on a swivel.
I mean, it's facts, dude. I don't know. Like I said,
that's fucking crazy though.
Somebody comes into my house, they're gonna hatch it to the dome piece. Like, there's no fucking getting around that. Yeah, if you break into my house,
lights off. I know my house. Yeah. Do you?
Yeah. You don't. You don't.
It's like
straight
fucking,
up John Wick in this bitch.
Dude.
Fucking
don't breathe.
Later.
He knows his house.
Dunk.
Ends up being
game over.
Fucking piece of shit.
You ever seen The Northman?
Yeah.
If you break into my house, that's what's happening to you. Straight up. Anyway. So this one's pretty crazy. This one's kind of sad. Like, kind of. I mean, it's pretty tragic.
You might shed a tear.
No, I don't think you're gonna shed a tear, but it is fucking crazy. So this sounds like something out of an urban legend or some shit. I mean, it really does.
Like a Bloody Mary type shit.
No, it sounds like a creepypasta.
Oh.
So this one,
Bloody Mary could be a creepypasta.
Yeah, I guess this is more of the realistic side of the creepypastas.
Fair enough.
Because it did happen.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? So this one, we have to go all the way back to 1957 in Utica, Kansas.
Hey, guess what?
What?
Midwest.
Midwest, yep. But also, like, what the fuck is there to do in Kansas?
Literally nothing. Have you drove across that state?
100 times. Yep, 100 times.
All you see is, if it's not fucking corn season, you're seeing nothing.
You are seeing flat.
It is one of the most boring states to drive through.
No, it sucks. Sorry if you're at Kansas. Rock Chalk Jayhawk. It's the college.
My ex used to like that.
Oh, God. All right, well. Anyway. So basically at this high school, the local high school in Utica, Kansas, hazing was a big deal at student assemblies, which is crazy already. So seniors would haze the shit out of new students to where it became an actual problem. So for Halloween, a bunch of the teachers got a farmhouse a couple miles outside of away from the high school, and they decorated it as a haunted house for the freshman students. And it was a nice little get together for the freshmen. And at the center of the haunted house was Principal Sal, who was in a fake noose and had grease paint all over him to simulate blood. And for a while, he would moan and shake in the noose, and the students actually got a kick out of it. And it was, people enjoyed the nights and stuff. However, one of the teachers went to take a picture of Principal Sal, and during this time, she found out something horrible. He had actually slipped off of his little platform, and the moaning that the students were laughing at was actually Principal Sal choking to death.
Did he die?
Yeah, he died.
Fuck.
And so he was
imagine laughing and not being able to, and not helping at all.
Yeah, because you think it's fake.
Yeah, that's fucked.
And then you see it, and you're just like,
poor guy died for no reason.
Yeah, he died. Yeah, it's a horrible accident, but it's like,
it is.
Fuck, man. But yeah, I'll tell you, I would feel guilty as shit if I was like, oh, yeah, that's a good thing, and then you're walking by, and then you find out what happened.
Mm-hmm.
I would be like, holy fuck. Like, I could have helped him and I didn't. It's, oh God.
That would haunt
But you don't.
that would-
You don't know though.
You don't.
I just know myself. I
no-
would feel guilty as shit.
Knowing the full picture,
Yeah.
yes, right. But
Yeah.
in the moment, how are you supposed to
that's
know?
what I'm saying. Is
Yeah.
because if it's a haunted Halloween, it's all about like getting to the point of like
trick
being
or
scared,
treat, dude.
Yeah,
It's trick or treat.
yeah,
That's like the whole mantra of it all.
yeah,
And you know, you think people are trying to scare you, right?
yeah,
Trying to mess with you. In reality, they need help.
yeah. It's true.
Well, got another one for you.
Yeah.
On Halloween night in 2016 in Chunky, Mississippi.
Chunky, chunker.
10 guests were riding in the back of a haunted hayride. You know, that's when you get in the back of a trailer or something being pulled, usually by a tractor, and scare actors come up to you and get you. Well, unfortunately, a Ford...
Or call you Jake Paul.
True. Unfortunately, a Ford F-150 hit the trailer, killing 3 passengers and injuring the rest.
Jesus.
Really a sad, tragic accident.
Yeah. Fuck. Well, how did they must have had to go over a road or something, right?
Probably.
Because otherwise, why?
I mean,
how
like
could
the
a F-150
hayride's probably just in a field.
Yeah. But like the one that we did at the Haunted Field of Screams, it was
It's like nothing in sight, though.
no, it was like the back little area,
Mhm.
right? The kind of ravine area
Right.
by the cornfield. We never crossed an actual road.
No, they just had a trail that tractor drove.
Yeah.
And
so
then,
that must
no.
have been, they must have been over an actual road or something. Unless an F-150 drove off the road. And did
Drunk
something.
driving or something, you know, like just fucking, who knows?
Jeez.
But like, dude, you're just enjoying a hayride, and all of a sudden you get killed because you're just a passenger
Yeah.
at this experience.
Yeah.
It's tragic.
Well, while these stories are pretty chilling and haunting to think about, I mean, there's definitely more, but it's kind of all the same. I know there's more accidental hangings, unfortunate accidents, and things like that, but there's nothing really to the point where a man walked in and used the spookiness of the haunt to basically use it as a cover to murder a bunch of people. Haunted attractions are usually very safe, and they have a lot of security, and they are often very thorough with their security, like metal detectors and things like that. Especially the big boys, big haunted houses.
Got to be.
You have to. Otherwise, they're paying hella money and legal fees and stuff.
Oh, 100%. They want to ensure, you know, people's safety.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're getting your ass sued.
But in the fictional side of things, there are certain haunted houses where somebody comes in and does that. Some might say a fest, a hell fest. Sorry. That's
You were
when we
really trying to
eventually
make up for your fuck up earlier, huh?
when we eventually get ads, like I'm gonna lead into this thing where I'm gonna be like, let's say we're getting some kind of like toothpaste.
Twisted tea?
No, I don't want to give like a free ad read, so I'm gonna say like some kind of toothpaste. I'd be just like,
Toothpaste.
man, you know, we're talking about something, and I'll just be like, dude, you know, this is a really horrifying story, and you know what else is horrifying is having bad breath. That's how I want to do it. Some people just think you don't expect it. Oh man.
Until they listen to us enough and they go, these motherfuckers.
Yeah, I know. You'll never know. Yeah, let's say it is
You'll
that.
never
And then you just be
know.
like, man, you know, this is just, it's such a terrifying feeling when you don't mix alcohol and iced tea.
Twisted tea.
Jesus Christ.
I was trying to like
fucking laugh.
I was trying to like replicate, you know, in Neighbors when she's like, keep it down.
The Twisted tea. Jesus Christ. Anyway, yeah. So we're going to talk about Hellfest. Which, by the way,
dude, we need someone. If not,
okay.
so
this is what I was going to say. This is what I was going to say earlier. So Hellfest, if you haven't seen it, is essentially the Universal, what do they call it? Look at you snuffling after you're talking shit.
I'm going to cut it, so fuck up.
Anyway, the, what is it? The Horror Nights or whatever at Universal. You know what I'm talking about? It's like
their Fright Nights.
Yeah, that shit. So, you go and do park rides, and then there's people that run around and scare you like while you're sitting in line and stuff. And Hellfest took that idea and put it on steroids because it's essentially a giant rave. There's concerts, there's events, there's shows, there's attractions, there's different theme parks, like you're in fucking Disneyland. There's
the Deadlands.
Yeah, the Deadlands. That's that whole thing. There's such cool shit. It's such a sick idea.
And the fact that you have to ride a ride just to get to the next
Deadlands
place is so sick.
So cool, dude. I know. And so I would be all over that. But the whole point of it is, well, Hellfest is a really cool, idea. A guy does come in with a knife and tracks like this one girl down and then ends up like killing all of her friends and stuff in the haunts. And then she's trying, people just don't know.
She wasn't even the main target though.
No, she wasn't. She wasn't. She was just in there and then
wrong place.
Yeah. The guy is killing that other girl, but it's like fake, or she thinks it's fake because she's in the haunt. And this guy tackles this girl who was talking shit to him earlier. So then she sits there, and while the dude's looking at her through the glass with his knife to the one girl.
Well, he also gives her away.
She's sitting there.
He's like, oh yeah, she's in there.
Your girl's in the corner or whatever. Yeah, straight up fucking kills that bitch. Yeah. And so then he grabs her, takes her down, puts a knife to her throat, and then the girl's like, just fucking do it. And then fucking kills her. And then that's when she's like, this is like really real. And that is a good aspect of it, is like, you don't know if it's real or fake, so you kind of, or they could just
be really good acting and
really
props,
good actors?
Right?
Who knows? You never know until you actually see them like, puncture and stuff. But then even then it's like, is it just effects? Like, are the effects just getting better? Like so you never really know.
Sick, fake practical, man.
Yeah. You never know until it's too late. That's what these haunted house movies are kind of trying to show us. But yeah, it blurs the line between real and fake, I would say, these haunted house movies. And
on such a loved thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. It's a cool idea. I mean, obviously it's horrifying if it actually happens, but I'm saying like it is a cool idea for a horror movie to do that, because you don't know if it's just you see somebody getting fucked up, you're going to say, oh, well, that's part of the show. It's part of the thing. And then all of a sudden they come after you and you're like, oh, this is not part of the show. But then you're asking for help, and then somebody else might think you're a part of the show. And then it just goes further and further and further. And so it's like you do have to fight your ass off and hope nobody gives you away when you're hiding behind a curtain.
Oh, I know. I know.
Yeah.
So, terrible place to hide, though.
It is. Yeah. Your shoes are sticking out. Your girl's over there, dude. He's like, hey, thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah. One of the... like I just had mentioned a couple minutes ago, the coolest aspect of that movie is you have to ride a ride to get to the next, supposed to be scariest part of Hellfest.
Yeah.
Right? The Deadlands is what they call it.
Because they can touch you and stuff.
They can touch you. They do whatever they want, take you from your group, whatever. It doesn't matter. What's cool is at that point in this movie, if you're a solo rider, the actor gets in with the solo rider and rides to the end of the ride with you. However, in this movie, the dude that's supposed to be the guy getting in with the solo rider, he's got the same fucking mask as the killer. So the killer planned the mask perfectly with what they were wearing that year.
Yeah, it was good. No, I did like Hellfest. I know it didn't do great with critics and reviews and stuff like that, but
it's an entertaining movie.
I do think it's a good entertaining movie. And that's because one thing that I do want out of certain horror movies is when we get closer, you know, I can watch Texas Chainsaw, I can watch Scream. Well, I'm not going to say Scream because that actually is one of these, but I can watch Texas Chainsaw and I can watch Friday the 13th and stuff, but they don't give me the sense of Halloween because Halloween is not part of that movie. Right? Like Texas Chainsaw is in the middle of summer.
Yeah.
Or August or some shit. Like
it's a horror movie. It's not a Halloween movie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what I think is cool about Hellfest is like, I'm just super into those movies where they take place during Halloween or something that kind of gives that vibe. Cobweb. You remember Cobweb? I know it's not really what we're talking about, but Cobweb, literally the whole movie, it was like those foggy, gloomy days. The leaves were falling and stuff. And then they had a pumpkin like garden in their backyard. There was all those pumpkins and it gave you the sense of like, damn, those are fall like days. You know, that's super sick. And then it's
patches are open.
So it's not like you have to have a Halloween movie where like create, you know, haunted houses and things like that. But having a movie that takes place during Halloween or like during fall, to me is a big plus. Just because I'm a huge fall fan.
And you know, one of the scariest things about Hellfest is at the end of the movie, you watch this motherfucker go home, put the mask in his cabinet, and go home to his daughter.
I know. She's like, Daddy. He's like, what's up? Just killed a bunch of kids. It's fine. Like, it's so crazy.
So fucking wild.
So crazy. Yeah. So there's that.
Halloween movies, man, and haunted houses, they'll get you.
I know. They definitely will.
You know, and sometimes documentary style movies, you know, we're going back to them. Yeah. And the fact that they make you feel like it's so real. And as you were saying, like at the first one for the houses, October built. Yeah. They had short clips of, you know, potentially real things. Whereas, you know, one of my favorite movies. Yeah. Has clips of people that make it seem like they're talking about a real place. Yep. And that would be the Abaddon Hotel for Hell House LLC.
Which I didn't know was so fucking popular.
Dude, people love this movie.
I didn't know that. I saw it, Hell House LLC, and I thought, no offense, but I thought, what kind of fucking title is that?
It honestly isn't, like, if you think about it, it's not a great title, but it sticks in your head.
Well, it makes sense for the movie.
Well, yeah,
you know,
because that's what it is.
When you look at a title, you know, it kind of, I mean, it helps, you know. So Hell House LLC, like a business, I was like,
what's a business doing in
I don't
the movie?
think I need to watch this.
To
yeah, so I never watched it, but Jake watched it, and then he goes, dude, you need to watch this shit. And then sure enough, I did. I've only seen the first one and then the Origins one that just came out.
And I know we've talked about it a few times on the pod already. However, it relates to our topic, so we have to bring it up again.
Yeah, why don't you tell them about the haunted house aspect of the first Hell House movie?
Yeah, so it's a lot different than from what we've talked about already because this is a more supernatural play. Yeah. It's not like
real people.
Yeah, it's not real people like killing. It's like demons and stuff like that coming to life in this like old abandoned hotel. Yeah. Which they rent out. They're throwing a haunted house in the middle of fucking nowhere. Yeah. They have tons of people come to it, but basically they have a business where they go set up a haunted house that year, wherever they decide is good enough. I don't know how they really come up with that. I think they say in the movie, but I forgot. Yeah. So they set up for maybe a month, making the power work, electronics working, lights on, testing the house, getting actors, making the mazes like through the rooms and all this stuff. And like they stay at the hotel while they're making it. And then just shit gets weird with like hearing things in the night, creepy things in the corner, supernatural moving, like
the piano,
playing the piano at night, the iconic do 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 do. Yeah. And great fucking like score though. But yeah, it's just a different play on the haunted house itself because it's not like a actual person doing it. Yeah. It's supernatural beings that eventually the end of the movie is a fucking
haunted house.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you really quick. The thing that I did love about the movie is that it started out by saying there was a tragedy. Like there was this big tragedy
there is
that
a
happened
tragedy.
Yeah, I know. But I'm saying like it started with this whole like they said, there's this big tragedy and they built it up, like the anticipation. They show you a little clip of somebody recording from that night, and then they make you go, okay, yeah, I need to see what happened. So then you end up watching the whole movie because you're already invested off of the first like 5 minutes.
They did start really good.
They started hella strong, and the whole.
Well, because those interviews look so real.
They do. The whole ending was fucking crazy too.
Oh, I know. Cal needs to watch number 2 and number 3 because honestly, the story goes so deep. You have no idea.
Yeah. I would imagine they would just add a bunch of lore and stuff. 2
is all right, but 3 picks up really, really well. Like with the whole idea of the story.
Origins was cool. Yeah. I did. That was a pretty solid flick.
The whole franchise itself of Hell House is just such a solid film. And dude, everyone on Reddit always recommends that.
I was going to say, it seems that way because, I mean, they've already made 4 of these fucking things, you know? So it's like, I'm sure, hell yeah, people probably enjoy it. So,
you know, one of my favorite haunted Halloween movies for sure.
Yeah.
Because, like, I enjoy watching them, like, kind of make the haunted house.
No,
because, like, you're a part of doing it with them. And they're, like, recording it all, you know? And
yeah. Well, that's why I like the
documentary
Houses
styles.
October built was because they filmed going into the haunts. There would be certain things that you felt like you were actually in the haunted house. So yeah, it was cool.
You feel more a part of the movie with documentary style.
Yeah,
which is really cool. You know, but
cool.
You know, haunted houses, they're coming up. They're probably open.
Yeah, so hopefully we didn't scare you too bad from going to haunted houses because we're definitely going to some.
Oh hell yeah!
And my advice is if somebody comes up with an actual knife or something, you know, sock them in the dome. I'm just kidding. Don't punch the scare actors because that's what they are. They are actors. Yeah, they're going to.
I shouldn't have pushed him.
I shouldn't have pushed him. Yeah. So, but no, go watch those movies if you haven't seen them yet. They're all pretty solid films, and each one offers a different take, kind of on the haunted house idea and the haunted house gone wrong. You know, the haunt gone wrong.
Yep.
And so,
remember, there are opinions. You can choose to have differing opinions.
If you don't,
however, we do recommend solid movies. So
I would say we do.
Yeah.
I think
we're very fair in how we like judge movies. Yeah. So, you know, we obviously have a little biased on some of our favorites, but
I also think too, a big part of why we enjoy some movies that a lot of people don't, it could be because our, like when we choose to watch a movie, we choose to put our phones down. We choose to turn the lights off. We choose to like be solely focused in on the movie. And I know, you know, I have a lot of friends who watch the movies. Like I used to watch movies with my friend or my roommates in college, and they were always on their phone or talking or texting or whatever.
They're like
and then,
half paying attention.
Yeah. And then at the end of the movie, they go, that shit was ass. And you're like, how do you think that? You missed like half of it. You know, it's you really can't. So that's why we, you know, if you're going to be like that, you might not like it as much, any of these movies. But if you are like us, where you choose to just turn your brain off and just watch a movie and you're entertained, then there you go. You know,
then time not wasted.
Enjoy it. Yeah, you'll probably enjoy the movies. So.
But yeah, no, highly recommend you guys. This has been a great episode. Yeah. And once again, happy Halloween month.
Happy October. Please don't send me any birthday shit, please. Thank you.
They don't know the day.
You're gonna cut it out.
Yeah.
Let's go.
They don't know mine either, so it's fine.
We're going to go ahead and say Jake's birthday is December 22nd.
Hell yeah. And Cal's is October.
That's so
30th.
I at least went way past your fucking month.
I'll cut that out too.
All right. All right, cool. This has been an episode of the Supernaturals. You guys stay safe out there and enjoy
haunted houses.
We'll see you around the grave. Oh, shit.
Thanks for listening to this chilling episode of The Supernaturals. For your protection, make sure to like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. And stay tuned for the next episode.